Welcome to Zeroed In by Crosshair Leads. I'm your host.
And I'm your expert. Great to be here.
Today we're diving deep, really getting into something fundamental for any business that wants to grow, right? Profitability.
Absolutely. We're tackling the commodity problem.
Exactly. And we're looking at it through the lens of Alex Hormozi's $100 million offers. We've got some great excerpts.
And this stuff, it's not just theory. People have seen real results.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely. Like Book Castillo, Life Coach School, she added something like $5 million a year in profit without new services, just applying these ideas.
Wow.
And Ryan Daniel Moran over at capitalism.com, he talks about gaining confidence from this. Andrew Argue, too, accountingtax.com, big jump in run rate, like $10 to 23 hours a year. Fast.
Okay, so this isn't just small tweaks we're talking about.
No, it's about rethinking your entire offer, fundamentally.
Right. So for you, the learner listening in, the mission today is simple. Understand why letting your offer become a commodity is, well, pretty damaging.
And crucially, how to avoid that trap. How to sell based on value.
Get ready for some potential aha moments. Let's jump in. What exactly is this commodity problem?
Well, simply put, Hormozi defines a commodity as something available from lots of places.
Okay, like, I don't know, coffee beans or something.
Sort of, but in a service context, too. If your potential customers look at what you offer and think, yeah, I can get that from dozens of other people.
Then they just compare prices.
Exactly. Price becomes the main thing, maybe the only thing, because the perceived value is, well, the same everywhere else.
And that's got to be frustrating. Hormozi uses the word embarrassing even, for people really trying to deliver value.
It is. You pour heart and soul into something great, and then you're just haggling over the price like it's, a generic widget.
Which leads straight into this race to the bottom idea, right?
Precisely. When everyone's offering basically the same thing, competition just drives prices down, down, down.
Until
the margins are razor thin. Just enough, as the book says, to keep the lights on.
Oof. That sounds grim.
It can be. Entrepreneurs end up feeling trapped. Hormozi says, like slaves to their business, always hoping things get better, but stuck in this low-margin grind.
It's like you're letting the market decide your worth instead of you deciding it.
You've hit the nail on the head. You're outsourcing your value proposition to the lowest bidder, essentially.
And why do so many businesses fall into this? Hormozi have a take on the standard models, doesn't he?
He does. He suggests, and it's quite interesting, that many common business strategies come from these huge, well-funded companies.
Companies that can afford to lose money for years chasing market share.
Exactly. Which is just not sustainable or even possible for most regular entrepreneurs.
Right. So trying to copy those models.
Yeah.
You just end up, what does the source say? Buying themselves a job.
Yeah. Long hours, tons of stress, but without the financial reward that's supposed to come with it. Definitely not the dream most people signed up for.
Makes sense. And this impacts marketing too, presumably.
Well, massively. If your offer looks like everyone else's, your ads look like everyone else's.
So they just get ignored.
Pretty much. The book points out commoditized businesses have a harder time getting responses from ads because all their marketing looks the same.
If your message is just, we do the work, maybe you get results, it's hard to stand out, isn't it?
Very hard. There's no compelling reason for someone to choose you over the cheaper guy making the same vague promise. It forces price comparison.
Which brings us back to staying competitive. You feel like you have to price match or close to it?
You do, but the moment a cheaper option pops up that looks like the same thing...
Your clients might jump ship.
Exactly. The source says, if the client sees a cheaper version of the same thing, then the value discrepancy will cause them to swap providers. It's constant pressure.
Eroding those already thin margins.
Continuously. So unless you actively differentiate, unless you break out of that commodity box...
Prices keep falling.
Yeah. And eventually, the business might fail, or the owner just burns out and gives up. It's as Hormozi puts it, no bueno.
No bueno indeed. Okay, the picture's clear. Commodity, bad. So what's the antidote? How do we fix this?
The fix, according to Hormozi, is the Grand Slam offer.
Okay, Grand Slam offer. Sounds impressive. What is it?
It's not just a slightly better offer. It's creating something that literally cannot be compared to anything else out there.
So true, like radical differentiation.
Exactly. The book defines it as combining high desire with a low perceived chance of getting it elsewhere,
Right.
plus a perception that it takes much longer or requires way more effort and sacrifice to get similar results anywhere else.
So it's not just what you offer, but making it clear why your way is uniquely better, faster, easier, more certain.
You got it. It completely shifts the conversation away from price
Towards value.
towards the unique value you bring. It positions you, as the book says, in a category of one.
A category one. I like that. So price comparisons just don't make sense anymore.
They become illogical in the customer's mind. Their whole value meter gets recalibrated, you know. They stop asking how much and start asking, how do I get this specific outcome that only you seem to offer?
That makes a lot of sense. There's an example in the source, right? About software for ad agencies.
Yeah, it's a great illustration. It contrasts a typical agency service, maybe low initial return on ad spend for the client, takes months to get profitable, the usual.
Okay, the standard model.
Right. Then it shows a new way, which is clearly positioned as a Grand Slam offer. This approach delivers way higher ROI and much faster profitability for the agency's clients.
And the difference was significant.
Hugely. The comparison showed the Grand Slam offer model was, get this, 22.4 times more profitable.
Wow. Okay, 22 times. That's not incremental.
Not even close. By focusing on delivering dramatically better, faster results, they basically made price irrelevant.
They sidestepped the whole comparison game.
Precisely. And a cool side effect is you often don't need that awkward conversation explaining why you're different.
Because the offer itself makes it obvious.
Exactly. The book says you skip the awkward explanation. If people have to ask how you're different, maybe your offer isn't differentiated enough, you know? A real Grand Slam offer shouts its uniqueness.
Right. Okay, so for you, the learner, listening in right now, what are the main takeaways here? How do you apply this?
I think the first step is brutal honesty. Look hard at your current offer. Is it really being seen as a commodity?
Are you getting constantly compared on price? Are margins painfully tight? Is marketing a struggle?
Those are the big red flags. If yes, then you've likely got a commodity problem.
And the goal isn't just to be a little bit different. It's to make your offer so unique, so valuable.
That comparing it directly on price feels silly to your ideal customer. They should see it as a totally different solution.
So it's about thinking how to stack more value.
Yes, stack the value, but also how can you make it seem easier for the customer? Reduce the perceived effort. Shorten the time to get results.
Increase their belief that they'll actually succeed with your help.
Absolutely. Those are the levers you pull to move away from price competition and towards value-based selling.
This has been really insightful. We hope this deep dive into the commodity trap and the power of the Grand Slam offer has sparked some ideas for you, our learner.
Remember that goal Hormozi talks about? Make an offer so good, people feel stupid saying no.
It really comes down to shifting focus from price to value. That's how you escape that race to the bottom, build something more profitable, and honestly, probably more fulfilling too.
Definitely more sustainable long term.
Yeah.
And look, if you're thinking about how to actually implement these kinds of strategies, especially around getting the right clients interested, well, if you need expert help generating high-quality leads, particularly through things like targeted outreach and cold email, you should check out the services at Crosshair Leads.
Right. Crosshair Leads specializes in client acquisition using strategic cold email to help businesses reach their potential. Definitely worth exploring.
For sure.
Okay, that's all the time we have for today on Zeroed In. Thanks for tuning in.
Thanks, everyone.
We'll catch you on the next Deep Dive.